Ecuador dug deep last night and stunned Julian Nagelsmann's Germany side to join them in the knockout stages. These are the Group E standings. They came from behind. They beat them 2-1. Germany, however, still won Group E. But the Ecuador fans have certainly had plenty to celebrate. They are used to coming out on top when they are up against it. You'll remember that they finished second in the CONMEBOL qualifiers despite starting the campaign back in September of 2023 with a 3-point deduction. And so we give them every right to celebrate. Celebrating they should be. We celebrate Jan Agafiosov joining the show right now. Ecuador bringing it and stuffing Germany. Jan?
Well, you know how the Germans are like. Now they start fighting again. The Germans are not used to lose games in the World Cup, despite, well, the last 3 World Cups, they have been getting used to that. They haven't had a clean sheet since the final in 2014. And it's always a bad sign when Manuel Neuer is standing with the TV interviewer after the game and discussing if it was his fault or not. You don't feel that he is very confident on that. Ecuador, I agree with you. Big respect to them. Plata, Aguero, they're scoring the goals. All done, but this German team, I've said it again, I've been skeptic to this team, how far they can go. And I think they showed last night that they are not mature yet. And I will take it especially to one man, their captain, Joshua Kimmich, who's playing world class at Bayern, playing as a number 6. Nagelsmann put him on the right back, fair enough, but he's not the leader. And Germany has always been built their success in teams that have great captains. And as it is at the moment, Joshua Kimmich is not a great captain leader for this German team.
OK, we're going to get to Germany because there's definitely been some contrasting reaction from the players and the coaches, Jan's alluded to. Can we give Ecuador a little bit of love here?
Absolutely. I mean, you beat Germany in this tournament in a game that you had to win to go through. You probably thought a couple of days ago you squandered that opportunity with the 0-0 draw with Curacao, who lost to Germany 7-1 opening, and certainly the opening game of that group phase. You battle back in this manner. You have a goal disallowed at the other end. You take advantage of that and go on to win the group for a country like Ecuador. And I've said this kind of coming into the tournament, especially you've seen it more with this expanded format. There are so many of these countries that are here for these moments. Nobody's expecting them to win it, let alone people in Ecuador, but just these moments that you get to celebrate these milestones in your country's footballing history, I think are impactful. You saw that on the final whistle from players and coach alike, how much it meant to them to get not just the scalp as you did, but to get to the next round. And then just maybe that good fortune, that fight that you saw in the qualifying campaign comes to the fore.
Yeah, absolutely. Ecuador fans, absolutely brilliant, celebrating there and always travel in force when it comes to World Cups as we take a look. And a reminder of the fact that they did beat Germany, which made Jurgen Klinsmann, our very own Jurgen Klinsmann, who's usually a very happy chappy, not so happy.
Jurgen, how much do we read into this Germany loss?
I mean, yeah. A bit angry.
Oh, because you're a perfectionist.
No, because I don't like it when you give away things. And I mean, first of all, congratulations to Ecuador. They played a good game. They were the better team. They created the better chances. They absolutely deserve to win this game. But if you're Germany, you are not happy. Absolutely not happy because you thought you kind of caught already a good rhythm. You had 2 nice results. Obviously, Curacao, you cannot really kind of put on the table. But in order to kind of pick up a bit more tempo and intensity and also sending out some signals to all the other big nations, this is not enough. This is not enough for Germany. And I think they're going to get some critics, from their media at home.
But everything's fine, according to the players. Joshua Kimmich saying the difference today was that the opponent wanted to win more than us, and you could really feel it. That's why they won today. Really deserved. Dennis Undav said, I had the feeling they wanted it more than we did. Ecuador were more aggressive, more tenacious. We also weren't as focused as in the first 2 games. Joel Musiala, they were perhaps a bit more hungry to win the game. The intensity and aggression of their play were high. But Julian Nagelsmann, Ecuador wanted it more than we did. That's nonsense. No, please stop with this nonsense. Honestly, that's far too simplistic for me. That's a bit of a disconnect there between coach and players, Jan.
Yeah, disconnection between Nagelsmann and the team? No. Is that breaking news? The thing is with Germany at the moment, if we are calculate, I'll see there was a good euphoria of that first win, 7-1 against Curaçao, and Curaçao have done well for themselves, got a point. It's unfortunately out now. I'm with Shaka. I love it to see the small nations doing better, but Germany is not one of the greatest football nations in the world. They've been terrible in the last World Cups. They played against Ivory Coast. Remember that first hour, Ivory Coast was the better team. Then they put Dennis Undav on, and he scored the goals to get them through that game. And then they had this game yesterday, and I'm with Jürgen saying that you need that momentum. Germany need to build up their confidence. Germany need to be a fear for other nations. That when you play Germany, you're not 1-0 down when you start, but you're a bit negative when you're standing in the tunnel before you go out in the game. And Julian Nagelsmann, first of all, he can't do that himself, and secondly, his team is not doing well at the moment. And I think that is these comments just shows you that, that there are media coaches. That is point one. But when then Julian Nagelsmann come and say this is nonsense, he's not talking to the interviewer. He's talking to his own players. So I think there's a lot of things to be done. I think that the football nation Germany will end up being very disappointed with this World Cup as well.
Can you read between the lines here in what the both sides have said after the game, Ali?
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if it is all about urgency. I think credit to Ecuador, they played more vertical, they had more greater attacking chances, and they were the braver team ultimately. And obviously, we can't forget that the U.S. also caused a lot of problems in the lead-up match against Germany as well. But they had, some of their best players, if not their best team out there, and they still couldn't get it together. And I think at the second half, they completely lost control. So I don't know if it really has to do with urgency more so than, tactical and personnel and the attitude.
Yeah, nonsense, says Nagelsmann.
Well, the worst thing any player can ever say about their own team is the opposition wanted it more than we did. That is
and a number of the players said that.
That is a terrible thing to say as a player. You even if you think it, you never say it.
Even if you've already won the group and you're just not going to be as urgent.
But Nagelsmann wanted momentum. That's why he played his best team. And the worst thing that comes out of that is then you lose the game with your best team. And we just heard Jan talk about it. You want to be frightened of Germany. Nobody will be frightened of Germany at the moment because there's no real pace in their side. There's no athleticism. The star players aren't playing particularly well. There's something missing with Wirtz. There's something missing with Musiala. Sane, although he scored a goal, is way off the pace at the moment. Kimmich playing at right back, as Jan's already said. This isn't particularly good at the moment for Germany. They're going to struggle.